YZ250F. Pulp 20 is the code to save with Race Tech. Give your suspension some love. Give your motor some love. Get it modified or get it serviced, whatever it takes. Folks at Race Tech. My Race Tech rant of the night. Jason Wygant's got his as well. My Race Tech rant of the night. I don't want to get too political here. Many of you listeners do not agree with my politics, and that's fine. You can all suck it. But in my opinion, I just want to go back in time to when all the people said the virus will be gone after the election. And I heard this.
The media will not talk about it.
I heard this from like smart people, people that
Yeah.
like I respect, people in the pits, a lot of the moto industry. As soon as this election is over, don't worry, the media is using this to bring down Donald. You will not hear a word about this virus. I'm hearing a lot about this virus in terms of hospitalizations that are maxed out across the United States. All of them? No. Some of them? Yes. Getting more serious. And I'm not talking about positive tests. I'm not talking about anything other than hospitalizations, which are real and they're counted for and they're tracked. They're not good right now. We're going, obviously it's colder and we're getting the second wave, which many people thought would happen. And so I just want to go back to everyone who said that it would be gone after the election because Biden won and the election, and there was still front page news this virus. So it sucks. It's terrible. But all of you people that told me this, and I said, no. Yes, it is being politicized in a sense of, hey, look, our current administration isn't doing a good job with this. Yes, it is. As is everything being politicized for any side across the board. But nothing was going to stop this virus after the election. And it hasn't stopped.
I don't get into politics for one major reason.
Yeah.
It absolutely disgusts me that if you say one thing on one side, I call it the checklist, then there's an assumption that, well, then you must be on that side, so then you represent these 300 other things, which to me is preposterous and stupid. I pick things from both, but I am very sensitive to the media stuff because I am a media guy for a living.
I am too.
Yes, I do not cover politics, but I work very hard to try to be unbiased. And so when I see things and I'm like, I think that's just them saying what's going on, and people rant. I am not saying I agree with you on politics, Steve. However, I will say CNN is now showing the exact same COVID statistic graphic now that they did in August.
Yep.
This is not me making any statements about anything else political. However, the idea that the media would stop talking about it after the election has not happened.
Right.
Has not happened.
A big part of my issue with Trump has always been the way he's treated the media, which is literally in the Constitution of having freedom of speech. It's literally in there, and he's tried to stifle that. He's tried to block that. He's tried to lie. He's tried to do all this stuff that no other leader has done before. And I think, and again, I'm going off here a little bit, so I don't want to go too far because we're a motocross show, but a lot of my issues with Trump, and we all know I've talked about it, start with the media and the way he handled it and the way he's turned the American people. Is the media perfect? No, far from it. Is every plumber perfect? No. Is every computer coder guy over here perfect?
Sure, no.
Yes.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Across the board, you will not find a perfect industry, and the media is involved in that. They're not perfect.
Yep.
But the way he has turned the American people against the media, people who go to school for journalism degrees, people who triple check facts, people who call sources, people who've brought down politicians, people who have brought down CEOs, people who have brought down companies doing illegal and bad shit for many, many decades. He's turned the American people against these people, and now as a society, many people want to go to Facebook to get their news, which has been proven to be wrong, fake, Russia
Because
making
anybody can say whatever they want.
whatever they want.
Yeah.
There's no accountability over there.
Right.
But this president has turned the world against the media, and therefore the media controls this virus. And I've already gone further than I want tonight.
Yeah. Like this
But,
is
okay.
a topic I cover,
right.
but the media thing I'm sensitive
that's
to
where I
because
think
I try really hard
Yes.
so I know what it's like to try hard and then still after like painstakingly trying to not show bias, see those comments on YouTube being like, he's just bought and paid for by Cowie, or the Honda guys did this, and I'm just like, dude, God, I can't win with you guys.
Right.
So I that one I'm sensitive to.
I literally-
and that is the free speech thing is in the Constitution as a safeguard to prevent those in power in the U.S. government from going unchecked. The media is
100%.
there to prevent the president from doing things.
The right to bear arms is no problem because that's in the Constitution. But freedom of speech, that's bad. Like that's where I'm like. If you're gonna stand by the Constitution, let's stand by it the whole way. Let's do everything.
Pretty much there to prevent those in the government from going unchecked. The government built in its own watchdog, which is free press.
Yep.
So be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
When you start saying that all press is bad and the leader is the only one telling the truth.
Right.
No
Just be
shit,
careful.
asshole.
Now I've gone too far too. Again,
yes, you have. But I think
there are many other things on that side that I disagree with, but I tend to pick and choose a little bit from each.
Yeah.
I know that's very rare, so people are probably already making their assumptions now, but
yeah,
I'm not like most
I'm
people.
with you. And so anyways.
You're both banned from snowboard, by the way.
Oh, we are?
You broke our only rule.
What's the rule?
No politics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there enforcement in snowboard?
Yeah, me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and my rule is no politics.
So have you booted people from snowboard?
We had to ban a few.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yep.
So there's this thing, Weege. It's think of it like a Vital MX for Pulp MX. It's a message board.
Okay.
He created it, or someone did. Certainly not Talon. Someone did. No offense, Talon. Just
Hey, fuck off.
And they discuss all things pulp in different rooms.
Okay.
There's a Marty party room.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is great.
There's I don't know what else, but
Pulp Mix Fantasy. There's
Pulp Mix Fantasy.
Drops. There's After Dark.
And everyone goes in there and breaks down the show, and they talk shit on me. I have no doubt. I have not been in this room.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that they're all in it. So
I know that you've teased the idea that you may or may not embrace this. I only find out what happens on Pulp when I see the reaction on Twitter the next morning.
Right.
So I saw the snowboard thing come up.
Yeah.
And you were not endorsing it, then you were for it, then you were against it, then you were not buying
right.
it. And yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Throwing that out there.
The MAGA crowd is on YouTube. Way to go.
I might just shut snowboard down because I don't like what they're saying about me. Many people have said snowboard is bad.
Stick it up your ass, Steve.
I'm not anti-MAGA. I'm just saying that CNN put the same graphic back up.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
so
watch the conspiracy theories.
My race tech round of the night. That's it. The virus is still very much an issue in America, and it's still being reported on. The election is over. Thank you. All right. Your rant.
Yeah, my rant. So we've had a lot of teams lose sponsorship and hence shut down.
Yep.
But I'm going to need everybody at home to just chill down on the marketing genius plans that you have to help teams promote these sponsors better so they can stay on the road. Make bigger shrouds. Run a list of
sell
T-shirts. Run a giant scroll on the screen while they're talking on the podium so their sponsors can get their logos seen. I'm going to explain. Here's the problem. Logo space is like a 1992 level thing that the sponsors are looking for. So here's the issue. That is no longer what sponsors are even looking for. They no longer sell sponsorship plans based on X amount of billboard space, X amount of eyeballs seeing it. That's what we want. We now have a digital culture where clickable things and impressions, and even worse, as you know, if you go on Amazon and you search for something, then those ads are going to hit you in the face everywhere you
like
go.
Your Ridgeline door.
Yeah, so you're going to get hit like a Ridgeline door by some ads for stuff that you don't want people to know you're searching for, by the way. So we've turned into a completely different culture. So any sort of race team to try to sell a sponsorship based on the amount of impressions that we can get you, you're going to lose that battle every time because Google has it dialed. The reason that Google has Maps, the reason that Google has Search, the reason that Google owns YouTube, right? Google owns YouTube?
Yes.
Correct. The reason Google has all these platforms is because everywhere you go, they're in your face with ads that you can click on. No other company on earth can offer that. So if you're a race team, you don't even bring up the amount of times your logo gets seen, because if you want to play that game, every company on earth will be like, yeah, good job. You made the radiator shrouds 20% bigger. We're getting 1 million times more luck with Google. So the only way they get sponsors is, as your guy Kenny Watson used to say on this show, it's all about the business to business. Every once in a while, through a race team, they'll get to meet some high-end people from another company. And it's worth going to the races and being a VIP just to meet other CEOs, other rich guys, and maybe your company makes a connection. So that helps. There is a branding thing, of course, and we are very lucky that the energy drinks have decided that we're not choosing all of our advertising based on impressions. It's based on branding, but we're fortunate there's a few companies that feel that way, but most do not. So the bigger radiator shrouds,
the
rider should say this or do that.
The T-shirt sales.
The T-shirt sales. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It's got nothing to do with it. So just stop with the suggestions, because what gets me mad about it is
he is getting it. Yeah.
What gets me mad about it is
I like it.
It's always under the guise of, well, if these dumb teams or these dumb marketing people would have just tried this or have just done that. It doesn't work. They've tried it. They've thought about it. It actually makes it look worse. If you try to tell these companies that the return on the investment, this race team is worth your $3 million, it is practically impossible to justify that from an advertising impression thing. So you have to try other tricks. We'll introduce you to people that you wouldn't get. But honestly, the only thing that works, you can feel important. If you're the rich guy, be it just the random rich guy or the CEO of a company, you can feel like a VIP. You can feel important. You can get that ego stroke. An old agent in the sport says sponsorship is more egonomics than economics. That's the only way it works. It has nothing to do with the radiator shroud size. And because of that, it's just like a miracle has to happen. You have to find the right rich guy with the right interest at the right time who's willing to not spend his money in the smartest way, just the way he wants.
Right.
So stop with the marketing tips, everybody. It will not help, and it's not that the teams are dumb. It's that even the smartest marketing genius at a race team can't beat Google. That's the problem.
I don't, and this goes back into JGR discussion a little bit. That's the Race Tech Rant by Jason Wygant. Very good, very impressive. It goes back to the JGR thing and not being able to get it. Like, to me, we're the number 2 motorsport in America, right? Would you not say?
Yeah, but that makes it seem so much bigger than it is. So I don't even like subscribing.
Okay,
to that.
But we're up there.
We're small, dude.
I know.
Small.
Oh, listen. I'm the one saying darts gets more people on TV. Than, calm down, everybody.
Yes, exactly.
We 300,000 people generally watch a
That's
race.
Not good.
That's not good.
No,
NHL
not good.
gets laughed at for $1 million.
Yes.
Laughed at for $1 million people.
Right.
Feld and MX Sports would do horrible things to people for $1 million, for averaging 1 million viewers.
Yeah, they don't. They will never get there.
Right.
No.
But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like we're a cool sport. Demo is good. You get a lot for your money. It's exciting. It's flashy.
Yeah.
I can't quite figure it out why we're not bringing in bigger companies. But I mean, I'll go back to we were on ESPN. We were on the Tonight Show. We were, and nothing happened. ESPN X Games. So we are what we are. But it is strange to me that we can't seem to elevate the sport at all. Not a little bit.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, but the basic answer is the sport is not that big. It's just not that big.
Yeah.
It has never been mainstream in America. It has never been. Now, there was a brief time we had 0 outside sponsors in the sport in the 90s. The glorious 90s when the sport was apparently at its best, which, by the way, is whenever people are in there.
1-800-COLLECT.
All right, we had 1-800-COLLECT. Yeah. Okay, one. And one.
With the best guy. They
had McGrath commercial. I feel like the sport really, a couple things happened in a very short amount of time. McGrath became this meteoric star at the same time that Supercross really got its act together. They finally had one promoter working in the right direction. So between like McGrath's 96 near-perfect season, the promoter finally promoting Supercross properly, 2 years later you've got 15-year-old Travis Pastrana burgeoning X Games, burgeoning extreme sports, launching his bike into the bay. That's like a 2-year rocket ship ride for the sport. And then no surprise, we started having outside sponsors for all teams by the 2000s. So I think those things were linked. But guess what? By about the mid-2000s, that's when social media started, and that's when Google started. And slowly but surely, I think that is sucking most of that money away from all sports, and NASCAR has the same problem.
Well, I was going to say, you follow NASCAR.
That's why I learned
their ratings are terrible.
Their ratings are way down.
Well, not terrible, but they're way down.
Their ratings are way down.
And you certainly know more about that sport than I do. They are struggling.
That is where most of this information is coming from. So the basic thing everybody says is, oh, NASCAR teams can't get the sponsors they used to because their ratings aren't what they're used to. And that is true to a degree. That is part of it. But when a huge trend happens, it's always more than one thing.
Yeah.
The thing I did not know until these NASCAR teams told me is, yeah, we can always lower our prices because we have a smaller audience, but we can't even get that. We can't even have half the money for half the audience. The logo on the hood of a car was great in 2004, but there wasn't Facebook back then, and Google wasn't in your face on your phone back then because iPhones did not exist in 2004. So, unfortunately, the paradigm has changed. Now you got to find, and this has been all motorsports forever,
right.
Most motorsports actually exist on rich guys who just love it and are willing to lose money because they want to be involved. So we just have to find more of that.
Well, I look at the title sponsors on the IndyCar series.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
what are these?
What are these?
Yeah. But in the 80s, their title sponsors were Sears and Kmart.
Target.
And Penn's. Yeah, the most common companies. Now they're doing that. It's pulling this tiny thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? That small company you never heard of, the reason they're in IndyCar is probably because the CEO just likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need more of that.
How do we get that?
Well, a lot of it is if you go to some of these car races, they do a spectacular job, if you're a rich guy, of really pampering him. Because, look, this guy could spend his money going to charity golf tournaments, right?
Yeah.
So he wants it to be nice.
Yeah.
If you go to a NASCAR race and you get the good pass, like that a sponsor would get,
yep.
I mean, you sit on the couch right next to the crew chief. You can't stand.
You really?
Yeah. You've never done this?
No.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You could get this pass, no problem. Call Coy. Yeah. So, like,
Coy thinks I'm an idiot.
The pit box where the crew chief works is a couch, and it has 4 couches behind the crew chief. So the guy who's spending $8 million to sponsor this team can sit next to the crew chief and watch the pit stop with the crew chief all day long. He sees the guy's data.
Oh, wow.
He can wear the headset.
Yeah.
That's totally done. So the guy's like, that was the greatest $8 million I ever signed that check for, because he can't go down and do that with the NFL coach.
No.
So NASCAR has done an excellent job of saying, we know that a lot of this is the egonomics of this guy trying to feel important. Now, we can do rig tours at Supercross, and they try.
Yeah.
There is some hospitality. We've seen more hospitality. So I do hear fans say, spend less money, don't have the hospitality rig. I'm like, the hospitality rig is there to try to get
Yeah, I've heard people say,
sponsors.
hey, we need box fans.
Yeah.
Get rid of those semi-trucks and put box fans.
Well,
this team spend. You're just like, what?
If you want to fall down that rabbit hole, you might as well just say, have 2 strokes.
Well, I think that's probably soon, right? That's coming up next.
I mean,
yeah,
I get that
yeah,
with every
right.
single thing. I'm like, dude, I'm talking about high-end business here. The 2-stroke thing, it would probably make it cheaper to run a race team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, just like when people are like, just make a modern, awesome CR250 and sell it for $4,500. I'm like, dude, it's not half.
Yeah.
It's not half the price.
Yeah, yeah.
It would not save, if it cost $10 million to run an awesome factory race team, it wouldn't cost $5 million if they were on 2 strokes. It would help.
Right.
But it wouldn't change things that dramatically.
No, absolutely. Fly racing, they redefine expectations.